Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing all good today. Good evening, wherever you're watching from. You're welcome back to another session of the Ladies in Tech Africa Bootcamp. And today we are going to be looking at the last topic for this week. And without further ado, I'll share my screen so we can get right into it. So what we'll be looking at this week is, or what we'll be looking at today is content for specific industries. We're going to be looking at the tech industry, healthcare, and finance. So we want to look at the kind of content that you can create for these industries and a couple of things that you need to note when creating content or when creating different forms of content for audiences that are on these different verticals. So I'm going to share my screen so we can comment right away. Yeah, good evening to all of you. Good evening to all of you. I believe you can see my screen. So before I comment, I'll have us look through what we did the last time. The last time we talked about content for B2B versus B2C. So we spoke about understanding the differences between B2B, which is business to business, and B2C, which is business to customers. We spoke about some of the differences between their audiences, how to understand them, and the kind of content that we can create for these audiences. And we looked at some of their characteristics, which includes their emotional decision making, um, for B2B, we looked at rational decision making, how it requires a lot of rational thoughts. They need to look at data and ascertain the long-term value before concluding on a decision. And we looked at long-term buying cycle because of B2B have stakeholders, and all of these stakeholders have to be aware of whatever it is that they want to purchase. They need to come to a conclusion before commencing a purchase. And for B2C, we talked about how they have a shorter buying cycle because they do not really need to consult with a lot of people before they purchase. We spoke about how they are being motivated by decisions, by emotions rather. We spoke about some of the content types for B2B and B2C, which includes white papers and ebooks, includes case studies, webinars, and live demos where we spoke about creating videos for products. So as a B2B software company, you would need to have demo videos so you can portray to new customers how your service work and how your product can help them derive the value they need. We also looked at industry reports and research papers, how it's important to other businesses because they want value-driven insights so they can make the right decision. We also we spoke about the content types for social media, which includes social media posts, reviews and testimony, user-generated content, promotional videos and ads, blog posts, email campaigns as well. And then we looked at the tune that you can use for B2B and B2C. And for B2C, you want to ensure that the tune and style is casual and relatable. It's emotional driven and it's also entertaining. So these are things you want to ensure makes up your content strategy. That way you will be able to drive good engagement with your content. And we're looking at the content distribution channels. We're looking at the content distribution channels. We look at LinkedIn email marketing, industry conferences and webinars. And so all of these are the different distribution channels, how you can easily distribute your content. Please give me a minute. Should I add to speak? Please give me a minute, guys. Still under B2C distribution channels, we looked at the different social media websites that you can share your content on. And we also spoke about KPIs, which is very important because when you are creating content, you want to track how effective these contents are performing across all boards. So you want to check the lead engagement, you want to check how your content generally is driving sales to the business. Now, for B2C metrics, you want to look at the conversion rate, the website traffic, the customer retention rate. This here is for businesses that offer monthly services that requires renewal regularly. Yeah, so you want to also look at that. And on conclusion, we're looking at now, okay, yeah, we're looking at content for specific audiences, like I said. Uh, okay, it's here already. But okay, yeah, we're looking at content for specific industries. So, like I said, today we're going to be looking at content for specific industries. Creating now, let's get started. So today we're going to be looking at the content for specific industries like tech, healthcare, and finance. Creating content that resonates with specific industries requires a nuanced approach tailored to the needs, interests, and challenges of the target audience. In this note, we will explore content strategies of these three major sectors: tech, healthcare, and finances. Finance rather. Now, looking at the definition here, it says you want to ensure that your approach is tailored to the needs, which is very important, the interest, and the challenges of your target audience. Now, these are pain points that needs to be captured in your content. Okay, it needs to be captured in your content. That way, you will appeal to your audience and you will deliver value. You need to make sure that your content is tailored to their interests, their challenges, which will basically make them take action, and it's going to have a great impact on your marketing strategy, which will also reflect in your sales as well. Now, let's take a look at the tech industry content. Now, let's have an overview of the audience in the tech industry. The tech industry audience includes developers, IT professionals, decision makers, and early adopters. Now, this audience is often highly knowledgeable and seek innovative, data-driven solutions. Now, when we want to look at people in this industry, these are you get to see developers in this industry, people who are building systems, IT professionals, decision makers, and early adopters. These are people who were one of the first few people to get their hands on certain technologies, and they were able to um, leverage these technologies actually. So these are people that you would likely be creating content for. And let's take a look at their content types. And something I also want to point out with creating content for these industries, it requires a level of insight on the industry, and then with research, you can generate tailored content that will be engaging to the audience that are on this niche. Now, we want to look at product demos and tutorials. It includes videos or blogs explaining how products work, and step-by-step instructions are crucial for technical audiences. Now, when we are talking about tech industry content, now you want to look at tools. There are quite a number of tools in the internet. Now we use Trello a few weeks back, and for a product like Trello, they have videos online, okay, videos and tutorials. Now, these videos and tutorials are meant to help their target audience get to understand how their system works and make good use of it. Now, these are examples of the kind of content that are created in these industries. They include product demos, where they are showing you an overview of their product, how it works, and how it delivers results. And tutorials, for there are a lot of tools in the market, and getting into the market for a tool, you might not really know how to find your way around. But with these videos that are created by these companies, it's now a lot more easier for you to find your way around. Now, how do you come in as a content creator for this business? So when you get onboarded into the team, they also walk you through the tools, how it works, and you would likely create tutorial videos on how their system works, making it easy for their customers to find their way around. So that's how you can come in and contribute to the content creation activities in companies that are in the tech space. Now, white papers and ebooks. Now, it includes in-depth reports on emerging technologies, innovations, or case studies often used to influence B2B buyers. Now, in our last lesson, we spoke about what white papers are, how white paper is more like a document that contains a step-by-step process about a product, a company, and what it entails and how their system works. And then ebook, I believe we all know what ebooks are. Ebooks are a digital form of content about a certain topic. Now, for case studies here highlighting how a product or solution solved a real world problem for another company in a similar niche. Now, this is a form of content that you will also create for these sort of businesses, because one of the things that businesses uses to get more clients are case studies, okay, because they want to show prospective clients that they have performed these tasks before, and this is the result that they are able to achieve. So creating videos and case studies are things that you would likely lay your hands on, if you are creating content for businesses in the tech space. Now, thought leadership articles. Now, this includes content that discusses trends like AI, blockchain, or cloud computing to position a brand as an industry leader. Now, thought leadership articles. So, for businesses that are in this niche, they want to create content on emerging technologies. Now, why this is because a lot of people want to get into this space and they are looking for resources. Now, as a content writer or as a content creator working for tech companies, you need to also do your work in order to conduct research so you can create these articles. That way, you are adding value the to your company's target audience, because they are going to get to read these articles, get to understand how certain concepts are implemented, and they'll certainly want to key in because they got to that page because they're actually interested. So if you have a service, if you have a product that you are selling, and basically your content can help them achieve their goal, they will certainly sign up for that product. And which is why this form of content is important because it also helps to increase level of engagement and conversion. Now, webinars and live events offering interactive content that allows for detailed product walkthroughs or expert discussion on industry innovations. Now, this is something that B2B businesses do a lot because um, they drop update on new features on their product and how it's used. So regularly they hold webinars, they hold workshop to um, walk their audience through their process and what they are actually doing. Now, if you work in such a company, that means you have to, gain experience on what the product is, how it works, and being a part of the team, you would also get to host these webinars where you get to interact um, with prospective audience on how the tool in your organization works and how they can leverage it for their own good as well. Now let's take a look at focus areas. There is innovation where you showcase new technologies and forward thinking solution that solves pressing industry problems. So this is where you have a new feature and you want to show it to your community or your audience. Problem solving highlights the product's ability to address specific challenges in a fast-paced, ever-evolving environment. Now, this is also drawing us back to what I spoke about creating product demos and tutorials because that's basically what it does. In the next one here is technical depth. It caters for an audience that values detailed, accurate, and technical insight. So what it means is that as an aspiring content creator, content manager, if you want to work for these companies, it means you need to have a certain level of insight on what they do basically on the technological space. When you have this level of insight, it's easy for you to carry out research and create content for the audiences that are in this space. Now let's look at the tune and style, data driven and informative. Use technical languages supported by evidence and real life data to communicate value. Now if you go to a web development help page, you're going to see a lot of tutorials. These are written by content writers. Let me see if I can find anyone. W3, let me see. Yeah, WP3 schools. I think this is a website that offers tutorials on programming languages. So you see they have tutorials on CSS, JavaScript, SQL, Python, Java, PHP, how to, these are different programming languages. And you see these are content. Now for you to create this sort of content, it means you need to have experience in this space or at least to a certain level. That way you can carry out research, you can find this element and you can test them out and create this form of content for brands that are in this space. Now, this is just an example. Now, this is easy learning with HTML. Try it yourself. HTML editor. Now, it's showing you a step-by-step process on how to write some HTML code, how it's going to display. Let's take a look at CSS. Now, these are the type of content that technical content creators create. Now, this is just one of it. There are different industrial, there are different businesses, and it also varies on the type of content that they actually create. Now, as you can see, these are for you to create this sort of content. It means you need to have experience on how all of these things work. Now, tune and style, we have spoken about data-driven information, innovative and forward-looking, focus on the future of technology and cutting-edge solutions. Now, for healthcare, now let us take a look at the audience in the healthcare space. Healthcare content targets professionals such as doctors, nurses, administrators, and patients. The audience varies significantly from experts in medical care to patients seeking information about their health. Now, what this is saying is it's listing for us a couple of audience that are in the health industry, okay? And depending on what your goal is, you will be appealing to people that are that are in the health industry, which includes doctors, nurses, patients, and generally people in the health space. Now, let's take a look at some of the contents that you get to create if you are in this space. Now, it's a lot more easier for, let's say, someone who is in the medical space. So, let's say if you are a nurse, you have been through medical school, you already have experience. So, it's a lot more easier for you to create this form of content. And for technical content, if you have experience on certain technical knowledge, how to use some technical tools like um, design tools like Photoshop, Illustrator, and whatnot, you can create those form of technical content. And if you're someone in the health space, well, it will be a lot more easier for you to create health-based content because you already have a basic knowledge on the industry. When you carry out research, you are now able to add this other information to the wealth of knowledge you have, and you are able to create valuable content. Now, in the health industry, we'll be looking at educational blogs and articles. Now, here is simplifying complex medical information for parents or providing in-depth knowledge for healthcare providers. So, you as an expert in that space, you have experience with certain surgical experience, with certain surgical experience and practices. You can decide to create content that is going to share value to people who are not so technical. What you'll be doing is you're going to break down all the complex concepts and make it easy for these people to understand. Next one, we have innovative and forward looking. So you want to focus on the future of technology and cutting edge solutions. Now, there are certain businesses that focus on new technologies in the health space, so you need to have certain form of experience in that niche in order for you to create this form of content effectively, basically. But that doesn't mean you can't. But then, if you have experience in that space, you are able to make research, you are able to properly decipher what is right and what is not. And that way, you are able to come up with the right form of content for your audience. Now let's under the healthcare industry, healthcare. Let's take a look at their audience. You will be looking at the healthcare content targets. Okay, I think I've read this. I have to edit this. Now let's take a look at the types of content. We have educational blogs and articles, which means simplifying complex medical information for patients or providing in-depth knowledge. White paper and research studies. Now, these are content supported by research and data that is critical for medical professionals and healthcare organizations. So basically, looking at this, it tells you that you require a lot of technical knowledge for you to create this form of content because it requires research. For some people, they might need to basically carry out this research, capture the process in order for them to create this form of content. But let's say you're working for a brand in the medical niche, certainly you have a team of you would have a team people who are conducting the research. They get to share their findings, and with the information you have and other resources, you are able to create your unique article that would be beneficial to your audience. Now we're looking at patient testimonials and case studies, stories of successful treatment on medical device use, which resonates with both patient and healthcare professionals. Now we've heard cases and stories of some surgical operations that seemed impossible and all. Now these are also scenarios that are used for content. Okay, so you can also be in a team. You would also be part of the people who will be able to capture these stories and tell it to the world. Now, infographics, visuals that amplifies medical data or explains condition and treatment for easier understanding. Now, if you go to medical hospitals, most likely you would see some visuals on the wall that contains certain parts of the human body, and with labels and certain information. Now these are also content, okay, and you require certain form of experience in that space to create that kind of content. Now explainer videos, these are videos that demonstrate the use of medical equipment, procedures, or treatment options tailored to either medical professionals or patients. Now for this form of content, once you have a script and you are able to learn how to use these devices, it's a lot more easier for you to create this form of content if you're working for a business that is in the health space. Now, the focus area is accuracy and compliance. Now, you want to make sure that all your content must be factual and adhere to healthcare regulations to ensure patient confidentiality and accuracy. Now, because of how delicate this space is, you want to make sure that your content is accurate because of the impact it would have on people, and you want to make sure that you are in compliance, with whatever it is that you're doing. Now, education and empathy, whether you are targeting patients or professionals, content should inform and release and reassure, reflecting a deep understanding of healthcare issues. We are looking at trust and authority. Content must build trust through expert opinion, peer reviews, sources, and patient testimonials. Now, because of the nature of the niche, you need to ensure that you are making in-depth research, you are collaborating with team of experts in order to share the right information to the public or to your audience. Now, tune and style, you need to be professional and compassionate. So use clear, empathetic language when addressing patients and a more clinical tone when speaking to professionals. Now, your content can either appeal to professionals or patients, so you need to understand, who you are reaching out to in order to create a well-tailored content for them. Authoritative and evidence-based, backed up with claims and data research and industry expertise to build credibility and trust. Now, because of the nature of this page, you need to ensure that the content that you are putting out is authentic, it's backed up by research, and it can be proven anywhere in the world because of how delicate this space is. Now, let's take a look at the finance industry. So, if you are in the finance industry, what kind of content should you be looking out for? So let's say you work in the finance industry. So the finance industry audience is diverse, ranging from investors, banking professionals to consumers seeking professional finance solutions. They expect content that is accurate, insightful, and practical. Now, for the content types, we have market analysis and reports. You want to share regular updates on market trends, stock analysis, financial outlook that help investors and professionals make informed decisions. So if you are in the stock market, if you deal on forex and whatnot, you need to have experience in this space. That way, you can present data and reports, which is really helpful for your audience because it actually guides their decision process. Now, guides and tutorials, educational content that helps consumer understand personal finance topics such as budgeting, investing, or retirement planning. So now it depends on which financial industry that you're in, and this is going to determine the kind of guide and tutorial that you will be creating. White papers and case studies, we spoke about this. Infographics is something that you know about. Visual content breaking down complex financial concepts like tax regulations, stock performance, or investment returns. So these are also some form of content that you will get to work on, as a team or as an individual. Podcast and webinar, experts giving content that provide insights into market trends, investment opportunities, and financial advice. So basically, as a content manager working for a business in the financial space, you might get to structure webinars, scripts, and basically plan out these sessions, or you can even be one of the people on these sessions too because of your level of experience and you being a content creator. Now, in this space, you want to focus on trust. You want to focus on trust and credibility, basically, because of the space that you're in. It has to do with money. So you want to make sure that your information, whatever information that you are sharing, is credible and people can actually trust you over time. You also want to provide clarity on complex topics. Now, simplify financial jargons and explain concepts early, whether targeting individual consumers or corporate professionals. So I don't know if it is just me, but then if you are on social media and also on some apps that you use, you would see ads on some companies that offer trading services. I don't know if you have heard of. I think I've seen ads from companies like OptaFX where they tell you that they have resources or videos that you can watch to learn about how their industry work in order for you to be a part of it. Now that's also a form of content that you will be creating if you are in that space where you get to break down complex topics and make it simple for a layman or for someone who's a novice, who is a rookie in that space to come in and learn. And basically, the goal is to educate them so they can use their product or services. Now, actionable advice, you want to provide insights that empower the audience to make sound financial decisions from investment strategies to personal finance. Now, at this point, you can be providing insight on certain stocks, are things that are indicators in certain markets. Now, these are things that you want to actually talk about because these are information that people in your market would find really interesting. And what all of these things does is that generally what we are looking at is creating content that will engage your audience and that will drive them towards using either your service or your product. Now, looking at tune and style, because because you are creating financial content, you want to ensure that you are authoritative and trustworthy because of how the industry is. You want to make sure that your content should project confidence and trustworthiness, giving readers reliable information. Yeah, because it has to do with money, you need to ensure that you are sharing trustworthy content in order for you to stay in the space for a long period of time. Clear and analytical. Present data clearly. Avoid sensationalism. Focus on providing value through straightforward, actionable insight. Now, in conclusion, content creation for specific industries requires understanding the unique challenges, preferences, and expectations of each sector, whether you are focusing on the innovation-driven tech industry, the compliance-heavy healthcare field, or the trust-based finance sector. Crafting tailored audience-focused content is key to success. By aligning your content strategy with the industry's nuances, you can build stronger connections, establish authority, and drive engagement. Now, basically, we have looked at different industries across finance, healthcare, and tech. Now, if you want to be a content creator and manager in any of these spaces, you need to start consuming resources. You need to start consuming content and resources in this space. So let's say for the financial industry, there are a lot of different facets in the financial industry. We have banking, we have stocks, we have crypto, and a couple of others. Now, if you want to be a writer in this space, you want to ensure that you have industry knowledge on certain things happening in that industry. Now, it gives you a better edge. It helps you to create more. It helps you to create better content. Now, how will people know that you are creating better content? Now, because you have experience in this space and you are creating content for a business that have been in that business for a long time, they understand the nuances in the space. They understand how it works. So if you create your content and it's not in depth, it's not rich, it doesn't really pass a lot of value across, they would know because of their level of experience in that space. And for your content to go out, it's going to be seen by a lot of people. So they want to ensure that whoever is handling their content has the right form of experience to create relevant content and engage their audience. Now, these are niche sectors, because most of the times, if you want to really get great at creating content for this sector, you want to dedicate time to learn about the industry. Now, there was a time where I worked for a blockchain brand. Okay, so for me to really function effectively, I had to, take lessons. I had to learn about the system. I had to learn about, what the blockchain is, how blocks are added to the blockchain and different things about it. Now, what I was doing was trying to, get me tuned into the space so I can get familiar with some jargons in the space where we hear things like staking, P2P. Now, these are words that are synonymous that um, to that industry. So basically, if you want to get, or if you want as a content creator and manager, if you want to focus on certain niches, that is great. I've seen content creators that are great at creating sport articles. I've seen content creators that focuses on healthcare based content and the like. So basically, if you are a nurse or if you have experience in these niches, it's actually great if you create content for those niches because you already have experience. You just require a bit of work and research for you to create good and quality content that would help the business that you are working for to generate. It could either be traffic, it could either be conversion from your content, generally just to achieve the desired goal. Now, let's take a look at social media copywriting and advertising. Now, what is social media copywriting and advertising? Social media copywriting and advertising are two critical aspects of digital marketing that, when done well, can drive engagement, increase brand awareness, and ultimately convert leads into customers. Now, this is true because for you to sell on the internet, you need to ensure that you have great copywriting skills. And for you to reach a lot of people, you need advertising. So you want to make sure that your copy is well tailored and it captures the interest of your reader or of your target audience. So that's why, based on the definition here, it says that there are two critical aspects of digital marketing, when done well, can drive engagement, increase brand awareness, and ultimately convert leads into customers. In this note, we will explore the fundamental strategies, best practices, and nuances of social media copywriting and advertising, ensuring you have a comprehensive understanding of how to create effective campaigns. Now, this is where your content goes out and you're now able to track how effective your content is, because a lot of businesses run Facebook ads. Okay, they run ads on social media, on Google, and for you to run these ads you require a form of content, either a visual based content or a video, or whichever content format. You actually need a form of copy on your content in order for you to um, implement an advertising campaign. Social media. Now, what is social media copywriting? Social media copywriting involves creating compelling, engaging, and concise text designed to capture attention and inspire action on social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok. And the goal of social media copywriting is to resonate with the audience, align with brand voice, and encourage interaction, whether that's a like, comment, or share and click through it. Now, let's take a look at the key elements of social media copywriting. Now, brief and clarity. Social media audiences often scroll quickly through content, so The copy must be concise and to the point. Let me see if I can search for an ad online, so we can, just see a few examples. Now, these are some ads that are online. Let's see what this ad is saying. Now, this is an ad for a digital marketing company. I think it's a demo. But then what does this says? Digital marketing experts, we always try to provide better services. Okay, this is actually so these are actually demos. Okay, now this here is a social media ad. Basic veggie burger, contact us and all. Now for as a content creator working on a team and you want to create this sort of ads, you'd have to collaborate with your visual designer on the team. You need to know, what kind of visuals you're using to evoke emotions. You need to know, okay, what words can I use to get my target audience to engage with my content. Now, these are things that you need to, put into consideration when trying to develop a social media ad. Now let's take a look at some of these ones. Now this is here for a male. So this here is for, okay, I can't really zoom deep into this. Uh, Now this is an ad for a supermarket, as you can see. You can see how short and concise the copy is. We spoke about that here. Brevity and clarity. Social media audiences often scroll quickly through content, so the copy must be concise and to the point. Now for this ad here, as you can see, this is for a supermarket. And for people who are super, super busy, when they get to see these ads, you can see it's very, very simple. It just has two sentences, not feeling like shopping. We do all the shopping for you. Now, basically, reading these ads, you already understand what this company does. Okay, you already understand that. Okay, they help you with your shopping needs. So if you get so busy and you can't shop, you can basically head up to the ad, head up to this website or this brand that they help you do all of your shopping. Now this is where your copywriting skills comes into play, where you can use just a few words to pass your message across alongside relevant visuals. Let's see if we can explore others. This isn't English, isn't English. Let's see if we can explore other ads. Now, this here is an ad for a pasta taste that satisfy your cravings. Now, for people, they have cravings at some point, and this is just a simple sentence that speaks to people with cravings. And here there is a call to action. They have different delivery partners. For different countries, they have logistic companies that are available along their area. So basically, this here is an ad copy and creative. Now let's take a look at some things on this ad copy. It has a header, that actually speaks to people with cravings, and it has a picture of what they are selling, so you can see what you want to order. And here it says fettuccine pasta. I think this is the name of the pasta. And then if you want to order, these are different delivery services that you can use to place an order. Now, these are, the kind of banners that you'll be working on as creating social media, um, leveraging your skills, creating social media copies for advertising. So let's move ahead. Now, looking at the key elements of social media copywriting, we spoke about your content being really, really clear and straight to the point. Engagement. Copy should encourage interaction, such as likes, comments, shares, or other form of engagement. Now let's see if we can look at other ads. Now look at this ad. Are you hungry? Don't wait, download and order now. Now, as you can see, we this copy has a few words, but it's still able to communicate clearly, to people who have cravings and who are pizza lovers. Are you hungry? This is a quick question. Don't wait. Place an order and get your pizza delivered to you. Now, these are examples of some of the kind of copies that you would be creating for ads. So you need to be creative to think of short sentences that are direct and they are still able to pass message to your ideal prospect or customers. Now here, have a call to action. CTA, each post should have a clear purpose, often prompting the audience to take a specific action. It could be learn more, it could be sign up now, or shop now. Now, if you look at this banner here, you see it has a call to action. Don't wait, download and order now. It has a clear call to action of what you should do. Now, let's take a look at this. Food delivery service, we promise to deliver on time, order now. Now, you see, this is a selling point, or this is one of their benefits, or this is or this is something that actually sets them apart. So if in a particular city you know of a company that doesn't deliver on time, now this here is reinforcing the value they offer, that they deliver on time. Now, food delivery service, order now. Here they are offering people bonus, a 50% slash if they order, and then you see order now. This is a call to action. Now, as a content manager, you need to understand how you can structure and add creative. You need to know what are the basic elements that you should have on your creative. You need to have a logo, you need to have a strong opener, a strong headline, and then you need to have a call to action and other information that will prompt people to take an action. As you can see, it has a good image here, really, really clear, depicting what the service offers and so on. So this is very important. Most times, if you have experience on how to create visuals, you might get to do all of these things by yourself. But if you're working with a designer, you can collaborate with a designer to create this sort of visual. Now, brand voice, the copy should maintain a consistent tune that reflects the brand's identity, whether it's professional, casual, humorous, or inspirational. Now, this is important. So if your brand is known for using casual content, if it's known for using professional content, you want to actually stick with that, so your audience can easily recognize your content anytime. Now, it's almost 8 p.m., so we'll be going for a break. And when we return, we will look at the other slides that we have. And if you have any questions, you can ask and we can go over them. And you can basically ask me any question in general from the previous lessons that we've had. So before I get to it, let me see what I can get started with. Emotional appeal. Effective social media copy taps into emotions, whether it's excitement, curiosity, or even humor, to motivate the audience to engage. Now, this is saying you need to add emotions to your designs, okay? Emotions are really important when creating designs. Now, let me see if I can find and add creative with emotions on them. Now, let's look at this. Now, 5 useful creative ideas for Facebook ads. Now, let's take a look at, let's leave the copy on this ad for now. Let's take a look at the picture. Now, this picture is showing someone who is massaging a lady. Now, this picture is also depicting that this as well. Now, these are visuals that are clearly communicating what this ad should be all about. So for someone who sees this, who is experiencing back pain, who is experiencing certain form of pain, they are able to relate with what this ad is all about, and without even reading the caption, they are able to understand what it's all about. So we'll be going for a break right now, and when we get back, we will continue. Yeah, let's go. Let's get right in. Hello, guys. You're welcome back from that short break. I hope you have taken your attendance. Um, Ensure that that is done. Now, let's get back to where we stopped. Yeah, we were talking about emotional appeal. Effective social media copy taps into emotions, whether it's excitement, curiosity, or even humor, to motivate the audience to engage. Now, speaking about this point, I was talking about this image here. As you can see, this image here is visually demonstrating what this business does, which is massage. And you can see, so if you have back pain, if you are experiencing pains around your body, you certainly know that from just the picture, you certainly know that, you might want to check out this service and see what they do. Visual alignment, the copy must complement the accompanying visual, images, video, infographics for maximum impact. Now, this is self-explanatory. You want to make sure that, once you have your image, your ad copy also complements your image or your creative. It just helps to reinforce your advertising, which is very important. And for, I think we looked at, there was a design we saw that has to do with delivery. You can see on that banner, they have an icon of someone on a motorcycle, basically showing you that they offer swift delivery. So you want to also make sure that you use images to portray what you do as a business. So all of these things I think you should have at the back of your mind when you are working together as a team, to create advertising content. Now, types of social media copy, we have the promotional copy, focus on promoting products, services, or events, often accompanied by a strong call to action. So this is actually simple. You just have the image of your product and you have a copy where you're trying to advertise your product. That's actually straightforward. Now let's take a look at this ad. It shows you, so this here says we are creative agency, grow your business fast. So you can see the image, showing a certain process. Look at this arrow idea and showing a form of creativity basically. So you want to make sure that your image is in line with your copy. So let's take a look at this storytelling. Copy now shares stories about the brand, its values, or customer experience, creating a more personal connection with the audience. Now you want to also leverage this as a form of copy for social media as well. So you want to share stories about the brand, its values, and customer experiences. Now this is more like UGC. Because of how effective this form of content is, I recommend you use it whenever possible. Now, looking at informative and educational copy where you provide valuable information such as tips, how to, or industry insights, positioning the brand as an expert in its field. So, let's say you are in the fitness space and you create informational or educational videos and you want to get people to your gym and whatnot. So you want to create informative videos showing people how to perform certain workouts. If they are working on their arms, you show them the right way to work on their arms. So it affects certain parts in their muscle and so on. So these are forms of content that you can as a content marketing manager, you can bring in ideas of this form of content, so that your brand can create this sort of content, which is really educational and which drives a lot of engagement and saves. Now, engagement oriented copy aimed at sparking conversation or interaction using questions, polls, or prompts. Let's take a look at best practices for social media copywriting. Now, what are the best practices? Now, the first thing is to know your audience. Now, this is something that we have been talking about for a long time now. I think most of the sessions I have taken, I have spoken about how important it is for you to know your audience. Now, you want to tailor your language, tune, and messaging to the specific demographic of your target audience on each platform. Now, let's say you own a gym and you want to create, you want to create, you want to create some form of content, and your goal is to reach out to elderly people who are at a certain age. You want to encourage them to work out. Now, it's just logical for you to use someone who is aged to create that form of content or art, because now you are appealing to the emotions of elderly people. You are now showing them someone who is like them going to the gym working out. Now, if you want to appeal to younger people, you know what to use. You want to use images, you want to use videos of younger people in the gym, and get them to work out more. Now, we know people who are aged oftentimes get to experience um, bone failures and so on, because of how weak their body is over time, due to how long they have lived and so on. Now, it would be a great way for you to create an ad with someone who is actually old as well, who is aged, showing them that they can also stay healthy, they can also maintain good body, they can also stand upright and straight despite their old age. Now, this by using this form of creative, you are now able to speak directly to this audience segment. Now, they don't even need to see your copy for them to read. Once they see that image of someone who is aged working out, subconsciously it tells them that, okay, this is something that is related, that they can resonate with, and you can easily sell to them using that form of content. So it's very important that you know your target audience. Now, use strong clarity, guide users on what to do next, making the action easy and desirable. Now, this is self-explanatory. Have we have actually spoken about CTAs over and over again. Now, create a sense of urgency. Words like limited offer, now, and today can encourage quicker engagement. I mean, even though we have different forms of audience, some audience that are ready to buy now, some audience that will buy later, and so on, you want to evoke urgency, okay? Create this source of urgency to help you get that sale that you want immediately. So if you are offering certain percentage off for either a gym subscription or a product, you want to offer a limited time offer, so you can trigger a lot of engagement on your post, which is going to lead to conversion. So this is very important, where you create a source of urgency in your ad campaign, because it actually works. When you have a product that you are selling and you tell your audience limited stock, only 5 available, place your order now to before it gets sold out. Now, this here is a marketing strategy that works, Yeah, so it's something that you also want to implement as well. Now we're looking at best practices. Still on best practices, you want to be authentic, okay? Genuine, honest copy builds trust and loyalty. Avoid oversell or clickbait tactics. Now, use hashtags wisely. So for social media, you want to incorporate relevant and trending hashtags to increase the reach and visibility of your content, but avoid overstuffing. We have spoken about this. A/B testing, you want to experiment the different copy variation to see what resonates with your audience. Now, we spoke about A/B testing, where you test two variations of an advertising campaign, literally anything that you are working on. It could be a carousel, it could be an ad, it could be a video. Basically, it involves testing two variation um, of a copy to see which converts the most. And once you are able to get a winner, you can now use that for your advertising campaign. Platform specific tune. Now, adjust your tune for different platforms. For instance, LinkedIn requires a more professional tune compared to the conversational and casual tune that might work on Instagram. So you want to have this at the back of your mind as well. Now we have concluded with social media copywriting. Now let's take a look at social media advertising. Now it means advertising in it says social media advertising involves paid promotion across platforms like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, X, which is Twitter, and TikTok. Advertisers create targeted ads that appear in the user's feed or sidebar based on specific demographic, interest, behavior, or location. The goal is to promote products, services, or content to a broader, often highly targeted audience. Now, what this is saying, this is talking about actual advertising where you get to spend money in order for your ad to reach a lot of people. Now, advertisers create targeted ads that appears in the user's feeds or sidebar. Um, Now, this would be now when you have some of these art creative, you now want to use this art creative or this visual image for art. That's basically what it means, where you pay money and then you tailor your ads based on the demography that is on the system. That way your ads are shown to people who are most likely to take action. Now let's take a look at some key concepts of social media advertising. Um, we have we have targeting. Only one of the key strengths of social media advertising is the ability to target specific user demography. Advertisers can focus on age, gender, location, interest, online behavior, job titles, and much more. Now, if you want to run ads on platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and generally most social media platforms, you get to see option for you to select the age range. You get to see option for you to select the location, interest. Now there are drop down there for you to select. Now selecting all of this information will be based on understanding your customer persona, your audience. All of these things would make it easy for you to easily highlight all of these things from the ad platforms and then use it for ads. Let me see. Yeah, so basically these are you'll be able to do all of these things, in order to get your ads seen by people. Let me see if I can log into my business manager. If I can log into my business manager and just give you a quick walkthrough. Uh, Now this is basically not part of the lesson, but I just want to show you, how ads can be, how you can actually create an ad. Uh, or basically how you can impute some information on your ad. So let's go to create. So on Facebook, there are different kinds of ads. What do you want to do? So if you want awareness, you want to get more traffic, engagement, and whatnot. So let's say we click on traffic. So let's click on manual traffic configuration. So I want to do this manually. I just want to show you, what I said about selecting your um, selecting demography, interest, age, and a couple of other things. So I'm not going to dwell so much on this. Just want to show you what that looks like. So for every social media platform, they have an environment where you can basically run paid ads actually. Now, this is where you can set your budget for the ads. Okay, so how much do you intend to actually spend if you want? This is the time where you want when you want your advertising to start and where you want it to end. And now this is where you can now set up your targeting. So let's say I want to target people in Nigeria. As you can see, it's Nigeria. If I want to target people in Ghana, you can see I can target people in Ghana right here in Nigeria. So with this, I can now select a location. So remember we spoke about um, understanding your audience. So you want to know where your audience are. If they are in Ghana, if they are in other African countries, you want to make sure that you pick them out here. You want to look at more options. Now look at the age, minimum age. So let's say you are in the fitness industry, okay, and you want to reach out to people within a specific age, basically. So you want to select a minimum age. So let's say 25. So depending on the kind of campaign that you are running, it actually depends on the options that you're going to see here. So if you have languages you want to indicate here, you can indicate it here. You want to select your placement. So basically, if you want to run ads on any of these platforms, you get to see feeds where you can impute their age. Like I said, advertisers can focus on age, location, interest, online behavior, job titles, and lots more. So here you can impute interest, okay? You can impute interest. Mm, you can put interest, like click on browse, regions, countries. Now under audiences, yeah, um, now under audiences here, you can search for audiences. Um, Now, this is where you can add demography, like I said, interests. So if the person is interested in fitness, you can actually select this. Now, what some of this application does is they already have a database of people, so they can easily, so based on um, the pages you like on Facebook or Instagram, based on pages you interact with, all of these pages have categories, so they are now able to get ads across to you based on your activities on this application. So this is just what the basic ad environment looks like, and I just want to show you that all of these things are things that are doable, where you can select all of these options based on your demography. Now you see why it's important for you to understand your audience, because now you can determine what interests them, their behaviors, digital activities. Is this person interested in soccer and travel? With all of this information, you can tailor your ads towards the right audience. uh Ad creative. So this includes visual elements, images, videos, and copy, which must be compelling to grab the user's attention within seconds. Yeah, this is something we have spoken about. The next one here is landing page. Now, this page, the page the ad links to should be optimized for conversion with a clear CTA that aligns with the ad messaging. So, what a landing page is more like a website. So, when you have these ads and you want people to take more action, you just need to direct them to a page. It could be on your website, most likely, where they will take certain action. Now, budgeting and bidding. Social media platforms typically use a bidding system where advertisers can set a budget of how much they are willing to pay for each action, which is clicks and impression. Like I showed you here, there's an option for you to um, specify how much you want to spend for your ads actually. So you can see, how much you want to spend daily and so on. Performance metric, which is click-through rate, CTR. So you want to check, the analytics, how many people clicked on your contact and so on. Cost per click, how much you have been charged for someone that engages with your content. Cost per acquisition, all of these things are different metrics that you can track from your campaign. Conversion rate and engagement rate are commonly tracked metrics to measure the success of your social media ads. Now, types of social media ads, we have image ads, simple static ads that use engaging visuals and clear messaging. We have seen a lot of those from those examples that I spoke about. Video ads, I believe you have seen ads on either Instagram or Facebook or any social media platform that you engage with regularly. You have seen video-based ads. The next one here is carousel ads, ads that allow users to swipe through multiple images or videos within a single ad, ideal for showcasing a range of products or features. Now you see businesses like Jumia, Konga, or basically e-commerce stores using this kind of ads where they have a lot of images. So I looked for an image. So this is what a carousel ad looks like. So you see how to grow your business. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's more like it has a cadence, on how, certain processes can be achieved. So this is what a carousel ad looks like. How to boost your business. I believe you have seen such form of content or ads online. Now for lead ads, ads that include a form within the ad itself, making it easy for leads to submit their information without leaving the platform, e.g. sign up for newsletter or download an ebook. Now this is self-explanatory. Now there are some ads that requires you to download certain materials, and for you to gain access to it, you'll be told that it will be sent to your email. So you need to give your email or some personal information in order to be able to engage with that ad. Now let's look at best practices for social media advertising. You need to ensure that you target the right audience. Now use platform specific targeting features to zero in on your ideal customers. I just showed you what the Facebook ad environment looks like, okay? And with on so once you understand your customer demographic, you can impute this information on the ad manager, and Facebook is going to show your ads to those people. Now use compelling visuals and copy, self-explanatory, optimize for mobile. This is very important because a lot of people engage with content differently, especially on mobile. So you want to make sure that your ad copy, or when you are collaborating with your designer, they are using the right size so that it's going to display on mobile. So let's take a look at ad format for Facebook. Now this is what you need to do. You need to get the ad format, so that um, let's use aspect ratio for Facebook. Now as you can see, 4:5, which is 16:9. We have so this is basically giving you the recommended size in pixels and in dimension if you want to create ads. So once you stick with this dimension, it's going to be mobile friendly because a lot of people use mobile. So you want to ensure that you are capturing that audience as well. Now retargeting, use retargeting ads to reach users who have already visited your website or engaged with your content. Now there's something called retargeting ads where you still get to reach out to people who have engaged with your ad before. Now use video creatively, create short form videos. Short form video ads tend to actually perform well, like platforms on Instagram and so on. So you want to also experiment with formats. Now each platform offers multiple ad formats, so test which works best for your campaign. Now when we talk about ad formats, we are referring to either trying out carousel ads, video ads, or static image ads. Now here, test and iterate. Continuously test different elements on your ads, including visual, copy, and CTAs to improve performance. I mean, this is self-explanatory. You want to test out, the components on your ads just to see, which change would actually improve your performance. Platform specific advertising tips. So for Facebook and Instagram ads, best for audience segmentation, best for audience segmentation and a wide variety of ad format, which is image, video, carousel stories. Use Facebook's powerful targeting feature to reach highly specific audience. I mean, I just showed you what this looks like on the Facebook platform. Now, LinkedIn ads, ideal for B2B campaigns and professional services. Use LinkedIn to target users by job title, industry, company size, and lots more. So if you want to conduct a B2B campaign, you'll be looking at LinkedIn. X is great for reaching a broad audience and where you focus on real-time conversation and you can use hashtags to tap into trending topics. TikTok ads, it's perfect for engaging younger audiences with short-form creative video content, leveraging trends and challenges to increase visibility. Now, here it shows here the next item here is social media copywriting and advertising workflow. What does workflow means? Workflow basically means a step-by-step process towards achieving certain goals. Okay, I see we are past 8:30, so I'm just trying to I'll try and wrap this up so I can take your questions. So this is easy. We have actually spoken about this. You want to research your target audience, content creation and copywriting, design, ad creatives. We have literally spoken about all of this. So understand who your audience is and what social media platform they use, tailor your content and ads to the demographic interest behavior of your audience. I mean, we have spoken about all of these things. Now you want to develop your copy and ensure that it aligns with your campaign goals, whether it's to generate engagement, leads, or sales. You want to basically try out all of these things, write concise, action oriented text that grabs attention within the first few words. I mean, I have illustrated this on this lesson. Now, design ad creative. Create visually appealing graphics or videos that complement the copy. Ensure the design is consistent with your brand identity. I can't overemphasize on how important this is. You want to make sure that your designs are crystal clear and um, they are easy to engage with. Now, campaign setup and optimization. You want to set up your campaign with the appropriate budget. You want to check, the performance of the campaign. A/B testing and refinement. I mean, I have spoken about this. How you can test certain elements on your copy or on your videos to see which is performing best, and with that you can select that as a winning campaign. Now you want to track your performance. This is very important. You want to track your performance. You want to use analytics tool to measure the performance of your social media ads. Now, when you are done with your ad, you can see the analytics on the tool. And if you are on a couple of social media platforms, after sharing a post, you get to see analytics. Now, let me see if I can log into my LinkedIn so I can show you what analytics looks like. So if you use LinkedIn and other social media platforms, after you share a post, you get to see insights on people who are engaging with your content. You get to see engagement, you get to see how many people viewed your content, and so on. So it varies. It varies along different platforms. Now, I share a couple of posts on LinkedIn regularly and show all. I want to show now this is, as you can see, analytics private to you. It's showing me how many people have viewed my profile, post impression, reach, and whatnot. Now this here it's actually going to give you insight on how your post is performing, and how many people got to read your post and everything. So with this, you can now ascertain if it's driving you towards the goal that you intend to achieve. Now, this here is a basic analytics of how many impression that this post got, the member I reached, the reaction. It's showing me the top demography of unique views. People from the people that viewed my profile is showing me, which based on their company, what's their employee size, where they work, and a couple of other things. So you can see with these tools, when you dive in, you can see analytics. And with this, you can now track, how your campaign is performing. Now, in conclusion, social media, copywriting, and advertising are essential tools for any brand seeking to grow its online presence, engage with audiences, and drive conversions. Effective copywriting requires a deep understanding of audience behavior, platform nuances, and concise messaging. Social media advertising takes this further by leveraging targeted campaigns to reach the right audience with the right messages and at the right time. By mastering both businesses, by mastering both, businesses can create compelling, high-performing social media strategies that generate tangible results. So at this point, we come to the end of this lesson. It's quite a long one, basically. It's quite long. We actually passed, the time for questions. So at this point, I'll be taking your questions, please. So if you have any questions regarding what we have spoken about, please air it out and we can get right into it. The questions can start coming in. Questions can start coming in, please. If you have any questions, bring them up. If you have any questions, please bring them up. Yeah, you're welcome. You have any questions? Time to bring them up so I can respond to them and we can end this session. Thank you, sir, for the call. My question is about A/B testing, please. What platform is it carried out? Now, A/B platform can be carried out on any marketing channel. It's a simple concept. What A/B testing is a simple concept. What you're doing is you are testing two advertising copies to determine which is converting the most. Now, for some of these social media platforms, they already have A/B testing as a system there. So you can basically just test out certain things on your copies. Now, what some people do with A/B testing, so they might have an ad, the same ad creative, they would basically get to change the images in both on both ad creative and run an ad to see which of them convert the most. It might be a call to action or just a single phrase on the banner just to test it to see which people react to the most. Now, when you are done with this test, you can conduct this test for at least for a day or two, depending on the kind of ad campaign that you're running. Now, when you get the results, you are now able to determine, okay, after 200 people each saw this post, how many people clicked on either of these posts, how many people signed up for my newsletter. That's if you have a newsletter for people to actually sign up to. So with this, you can now derive a conclusion on which is performing better. Now, once you get the result, you can now basically use that for your main campaign. So that's just the basics of A/B testing. You can carry out A/B testing in email marketing. You can carry out A/B testing on Facebook ads. You can carry out A/B testing on Instagram. So it's a general marketing concept that can be applied across different social media channels. The difference between an infographic and flyer, infographics basically has a lot of information. So if you have seen weather reports, if you have seen a weather report, it's an example of an infographics because you get to see a couple of information on that infographic. You can basically read meaning from that infographic. I think there was a time where we have in 2020 where there is outbreak in corona and so on. I think the coronavirus in 2020. You will see these infographics that is shared by the agency. You get to see states. You get to see how many cases were found in these states. Now, that's an example of an infographic. While a flyer is basically meant for advertisements, infographics is meant to inform you about certain concepts and topics. Now, for ads, I know you're going to ask me question on ads, but basically I just showed you that for you to understand how the targeting works. For the business suite, it's used to run ads for Facebook and Instagram basically because it's a meta product, so it's used to run ads for Facebook and Instagram. Now, please, meta ads, it's not what we are actually talking about. We would likely look at it moving forward, but not on this lesson. I only showed you that so you can get a physical experience on how you can impute interest, and how you can select your budget, and how you can impute certain demographic information into your ads in order to target specific people. If you remember, I spoke about creating a customer demography. Now, this is where it comes in handy because you can now impute all of this information. You can now impute all of this information into this system, and you will be able to target the right people. For we are not talking about Facebook ads here, but I think looking at the curriculum, if we have Facebook ads, we're going to discuss it in details. Someone is asking me a question on Trello. What I recommend is you watch the lesson for last week and also take a look at our tutorials, okay, on Trello. Now, I can tell you for sure that if you go to the YouTube page on Trello, you're going to see a couple of videos. Please watch them. They have in-depth tutorials. You know, what I did was just to give you a basic overview on some of the basic tools that you would need on Trello and how to make use of it. You know, that way giving you a great start. So when you look at these videos, it doesn't seem overwhelming. Now, white paper means someone is asking me what's the process of creating a Facebook ads. You basically need a Facebook manager account. You know, there are different ways you can actually create ads. Okay. How do I focus on my target audience on Facebook ads? Uh, about Facebook ads, I think I think I'll look through the curriculum. If we are taking Facebook ads, then we can get to elaborate more on it. Last week class, brand identity. Okay, what's your question on brand identity? Thank you very much. Your questions. I'm not seeing any questions to react to. Not seeing any questions to react to. Your questions can start coming in. You can run ads on all social media platforms using Meta Business Suite. Now, Meta Business Suite is only used to run ads on Facebook and on Instagram. Yeah, because Meta is the parent company of Facebook and Instagram. So for Twitter, Twitter has its own ad manager. YouTube has its own ad manager, and TikTok also has its own ad manager. Uh, 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 okay, Sharon is asking, how do you identify KPIs? Now, identifying KPIs is something you have to decide on which KPI is important to you. Now, when you share a post on any social media platform. You can track the reach, how many people got to see that post. You can track the likes, how many people engaged with the likes. You can track the shares, how many people shared the post. Now you're saying, how can you measure? Now I just showed you my LinkedIn profile where I could see analytics of how my content performs. So this is something that works across all social media platforms. So if you get on Facebook, Instagram, and any social media platform, they have an inbuilt analytic tool that would basically, show you all of these things. And with this, you can gain insights on how many people engage with your content. Now, if you share a lot of content, okay, if you share a lot of content, you will realize that there might be some content that you share that has a lot of views, and while some doesn't have a lot of views. Now what do you need to check for? Okay, what did I talk about in that content? Now you can create another video talking about the same thing and then monitor it. Now what that would actually tell you, it will show you a certain pattern, so you can understand which kind of content the algorithm likes a lot. Because if the algorithm likes your content, they'll get to show it to a lot of people. So you need to pay attention to numbers. So with these numbers, you can come up with, you can actually come up with certain hypotheses, and with this hypothesis, you can make informed decisions. Now, how do you know the right hashtag to use on social media? Now, you can you can search for things based on hashtags. Okay, so when you search for a certain hashtag, you see a lot of posts, and you get to see the search volume of that hashtag. Instagram shows you that insight. So what you need to do is, when, let's say, you are in the fashion space, male fashion, you can just use the word male fashion, and you see posts of people that are using that hashtags. What you can do is you can look at their posts. You see they also use other hashtags. So what you can do is to pull out all of these hashtags and type them out and see what is the search volume, and how many people have used that hashtag. So with that, you can come up with a conclusion on hashtags that you can use to reach to a lot of people. Now there are some hashtags with over 500 million use. There are some hashtags with just 1,000. So all of these things are information that you gather, and you know when to use them. Yeah, so this course material will be shared to you. I want to actually just review it and make a few changes on it before sharing it to you guys. Our content is new. Now, you can't really post any kind of content on LinkedIn. You need to be careful with the kind of content you post, generally across all social media platforms. So when sharing content, generally you have a goal. On LinkedIn, it's important you keep it professional because it tells on your image. So you want to make sure that your content on LinkedIn is professional and actually portrays what you do, and essentially showing people that you are an expert in your field. Uh, so how do you know what your target audience wants? It's one thing to have a target audience, but meeting their particular needs is different. So how do you know what the audience likes? So basically, before you generate any product or service, you are solving a problem. And for you to solve a problem, you need to know what the problem is. Now I made an example with gym owners, if they want to get across to elderly people. Now we know when people get old, their body cannot really carry them any longer. But if they engage in regular exercise, their muscles are active and it's able to help them to function effectively. Now that is a problem already. Me stating out the problem, I have actually highlighted people who are facing that problems. Now automatically I have discovered a problem and I have discovered the people that this problem affects. Now, with this, I can now come up with other information about this audience, okay, and basically know how to structure my ad campaign, develop my persona based on some information about elderly people. A couple of them could be retired, a couple of them could, be business owners, some could be civil servants. Now, these are informations that are well known about people who are aged. So, with this information, you can put these things together and come up with your ad strategy. Now, we all know that, on TikTok, you get to see a lot of young people, and on Facebook, you get to see a lot of elderly people on Facebook. It's more like a trend. So, with all of this information, you can easily tailor your ad strategy, your campaign to these people. Yeah, you're welcome. Say also, can a Happy New Month flyer serve as content for B2C industries? Of course, you can. It's something that people relate with, so it's great to use. Is it better to use hashtags with more use? Yes, using hashtag with more use basically means it's going to reach a lot of people. And there are actually some downsides to it, because when a lot of people are using hashtags, it means that when more people use that particular hashtag, and there's a way, these hashtags work, and when people use this hashtag, there's a way it stacks the content together. So when there is a lot of use case and you don't really have a lot of engagement, other content are going to stack above yours, and your content could get lost in the hashtag. Sir, can you explain content team based on your last class? Content team, basically it's the title of your content. So if you want to talk about something, what's the title of that content. So with that, with the title, you can make research, you can gather up relevant information that would help you to share better insights on that topic. So a team could be, so let's make an example with in the fitness niche, basically. So let's say what's a team. A team would be a title. So let's say you want to write a post about building healthy muscles. Now that's a team. With that, you can make research and find out, what kind of mass you need to build healthy muscles, how many reps do you need to go, what kind of diet you need to be in order to support your body growth. Now, all of this are information that you can get once you are able to identify your team, basically. Thank you very much, guys. More questions. If you have more questions, please, your questions can start coming in. Your questions can start coming in. Yeah, bless you too. If you have more questions, please, that should roll in. And there's something I would always advise. It's not enough for you to just watch this session and gain everything. It's important that you watch it over again, because most times, because of everything is going on the fly, you might not really pick out everything. But when you get to watch this session a couple of times, a couple of things starts to make sense. Okay, so if possible, you can even watch from the very first video down to this point. You'll see, a lot of things will start to make sense. That's how it is. So try to watch this session. Watch it a couple of times actually, so that you would get to understand every concept. Okay, I can see there are no questions. I can see there are no questions. So I'm going to share the resources with the team, and it will be shared across to you, so you can look through the content, read through it, and also your quiz for the week will be sent across as well. And for the assignments on creating a content calendar, I'm actually reviewing them. I want to beckon on you guys to do this assignment because it's going to help you gain real life experience. Because in this space, people will hire you based on what you can do. Okay, it's something where you need to have real life experience in order to implement these things that you are learning. That way, people can actually get you on their team. All right, thank you very much, guys. I see there are no questions coming in. So at this point, we will call this session to a close. Thank you very much, and do have a good night's rest.